Welcome home. Well, welcome to Sicily. Today we're making a dish called swordfish alla palermitana, swordfish Palermitan style, which I first had at a restaurant called Al Merluzzo Felice, the Happy Cod, which is in Milan, but it's a Sicilian restaurant, well it was, I don't know if it's still there. And there they used a fish called palombo. Now, palombo is smooth hound, it's a kind of dogfish, and it's really delicious, but it's not such a sustainable fish. So I normally make this sometimes with hake and sometimes with swordfish, with a firmish white fish with some flavour. Now you have, the fish has come to you already like this. It's not just crumbed, it's also got little lumps underneath the crumbs. Those are capers which will fry a little bit crispy when it's cooking, and it's already been seasoned with a bit of salt, so there's not much doing to it. And you've got a box of garnishes, rocket, smoked ricotta, wedge of lemon and some capers. I'm going to get my pan heating up, and we're just going to pan fry the fish. I'm going to use olive oil. You could use vegetable oil. I don't think you'd notice much difference. You want a fair bit of oil in the pan, a good few millimeters depth, because you want the breadcrumbs to come up crispy. And it's going to take, say 2 to 3 minutes on each side probably. Swordfish can be served slightly pink. You don't want to overcook it. Breadcrumbs must be served crispy. So I'm going to put some oil in the pan, which is already warm. Always heat the pan empty and then put the oil in, because it means the oil won't be for too long in the hot pan and is less likely to burn. Not yet hot. Just crank it up for a second. I'm just putting a few loose crumbs in just to see the temperature of the oil. It doesn't need to get super hot. And it's starting to fry. And you don't want the crumbs to burn too quickly, so a kind of medium heat that will just sizzle will be enough. Now this smells good because I'm using good olive oil, probably too good for frying in, but there you go. And I'll just quickly show you how that looks. Can you see? And if the pan's too hot, the breadcrumbs on the outside will burn before any of the other ones go properly crispy, and the fish will be a bit undercooked inside. So you don't want a blazing hot pan. And if it's too cool, it will never really cook. But other than that, you don't need to worry. You just need to make sure you cook until the breadcrumbs are a nice golden brown and the fish is not overcooked. I've got a plate. So I'm cooking for one today. I'm just going to arrange the rocket, or enough of the rocket, on the plate as a bed for the fish to sit on. And because the fish is going on top of salad, I'm going to make sure the plate's not warm. A big thing in restaurants to make sure that warm food goes out on warm plates. It really enhances the experience and it keeps the food warmer as you eat it. But if it's sitting on something cold, then don't use a warm plate because it will just wilt the salad. So I'm going to have a little peek underneath. And with spitting, beware of spitting. You've got a lemon wedge, that can go already on the plate. The salad I'm not going to dress, I'm not going to season, just rocket leaves with nothing on them. They're going to get a reasonably greasy bit of fish on top. And there's a wedge of lemon. So between the grease from the fish and the lemon and the salty capers and the salted ricotta which we're using, today we're using a smoked salted ricotta, which is particularly nice. That will kind of season the leaves enough to eat, and they'll provide a refreshing counterpoint against the fish, which has not been deep fried, but is not light on the outside. Now I've turned it over, I've got a nice golden brown, and I'm going to give it another 2-3 minutes on the other side. And we're done. I mean, just bear in mind it's a thick piece of fish, so it will take a couple of minutes to cook on each side. A little peek underneath, a little bit longer. This is very much like a cotoletta milanese in that swordfish is very meaty. It's kind of as close as you get to veal of the sea because it's pale and juicy and tender and delicate. And this is quite thick, chopped, it's like a fish chop. It's a really good thing. Second one on the other side and we're done. Look at that fish chop. Yummy, 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 yummy. I'm gonna turn this off and move this out of the way, and we'll plate. Look at that white out of the field of view. So I've got my plate with rocket on it and a wedge of lemon. And I'm gonna take my fish. You can drain it on some paper if you like. We'll plonk it straight on top. And this already looks like a nice plate, but we're going to make it nicer. Take a grater and use the coarsest bit, the really coarse grater, the thing you grate apples on, and grate some of this smoked ricotta onto the fish. And a bit around is fine. Not too much, because you want to leave a bit of the fish showing. And we have some capers, and these are not just capers. These are amazing capers. They're from Pantelleria, which is an island between Sicily and Africa, which is really arid and windswept bump in the sea, where the uber wealthy have their homes, and it's so windy that all they can grow is grapes that grow flat on the ground because they can't grow up, it's too windy, and capers, and they make the best capers in the world. And the better ones are salted rather than put in vinegar, so we buy them salted by the bucket load. And we've soaked them for you until they're still salty, but tolerably salty, so you can enjoy eating them. That is the finished dish, swordfish alla palermitana. It was on the menu at Bocca di Lupo the day we opened, and has not been on the menu every day since, but most, or many, or at least all of the better ones. So I'm going to give it a squeeze of lemon as I eat it. And I don't have a fork, so I'm going to use my spatula to carve off a bit. And I'll show you how beautifully cooked that fish is. So you see, it's not rare, but it is succulent all the way through, kind of medium well probably, which is just how I like my swordfish. Really, really juicy, not raw. It's really good. Buon appetito.